Just got real in the man cave there. Takeo Spikes, War Eagle. Auburn grad, 15 years in the NFL. Stopped by just to rough up Paulie. Paulie wearing an Alabama helmet and kind of an Alabama shaded flannel shirt, too. Those aren't good colors. I mean, it's like red to a bull here.
I wanted to go all in to try and block Mr. Spikes.
So did Takeo. He went all in.
I wrote. Listen, that was probably the first time that somebody have seen the Tide roll. I rolled the Tide.
You did.
I rolled the Tide.
You rolled him over and over and over. Do you hate Alabama?
I do.
Like, do you have any friends who played at Alabama?
They are only friends after you're done. 2 years removed. Got to be 2 years removed. You know what? It's a personal battle, because what people have to realize is that it's so many games that are played throughout the college year, so many rivalries. Even in the South, nobody knows Auburn and Georgia is the oldest rivalry in the South. But what makes Auburn and Alabama so different, there's no professional team.
Yeah.
You can get a professional team that wants to come in the state of Alabama, and they will not allow it because it's all about Auburn and Alabama. And Alabama likes to think that they're a little bit better than Auburn people, but I beg to differ.
Could you date a woman from Alabama?
Absolutely not. No.
What if she was a 12?
Well, we can negotiate after that.
She'd have to come to your place. You can't go to her place.
Yes.
You're not going to Tuscaloosa.
No, not at all.
The Cam Newton situation.
Oh,
how crazy was that yesterday?
Crazy. It was crazy to see it, because the first sight I think everybody saw was just how the truck was flipped over and the passenger side was crushed in. And you look at some of the remarks that Cam came out with today, was saying he thanked God for every moment and never take anything for granted.
But isn't it amazing that he's got the same back injury as Tony Romo? And I always talk to you guys about, is it like a car accident? And here he was in a car accident to suffer the same injury Romo suffered during a game. Amazing.
It's amazing. And I really think it shows how much danger NFL players put their body through. And it just shows like that, it's crazy to even think that they both have the same injury.
Yeah. And one was in an actual accident, and Romo's was in a game. But do you think that players should be allowed to use HGH and steroids in the NFL, considering what you put your body through?
No, not steroids. I just think that's cheating.
But if everybody's allowed to do it, that we look at it and say, because I don't think the public cares. I don't think they care that if an NFL player tests positive, unless it's a quarterback, a marquee guy, I don't think people care.
You know what? The public don't care because they care about the entertainment.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be entertained on that Sunday. Even now, I'm not even playing. I'm a fan of the game. I just think that it puts certain players at way higher levels, and then you won't be able to compete. So imagine Julio Jones after the great game he had this past Monday night. Let's say if he was out there juicing, if he was allowed to juice. Man, Julio, it would be like everybody else is on Tecmo Bowl standards, and he's on Madden standards. So no, no.
But it is okay. I don't know if it's prevalent, but I was told it was prevalent. HGH is prevalent. I was told that.
It is.
Do you believe so?
It's a natural hormone. It's a natural hormone that you already make. But the thing is that.
But what's it do? How does it help you?
From the research, what I know is that it helps you speed up with recovery. So let's say an older guy, 10th, 11th, 12th year in the league, he plays on Sunday. He's not going to be feeling well or even feel like practicing until Thursday, Friday. So I think when you take HGH, it speeds up the recovery to where versus you practicing on Thursday, now you can go – the way you feel on Thursday, you will feel like that on Tuesday after a game on Sunday.
What's the downside to HGH, though, of not allowing players to use HGH?
I think the downside is people worry about certain guys' levels are already higher than others. And so when you give HGH to certain guys whose levels are already high, of course they're going to recover anyway, but it puts them at an advantage.
Okay.
So I think anything that puts the game at an advantage, I'm not in agreement with that. I don't agree with that.
Here's my problem I see with guys is we see these hits now. Guys feel like they're invincible. You got guys who are all jacked up.
Yep.
And they just launch their bodies. If I took away some of that, I take away a little bit of that confidence that people have of launching their bodies. And I think it would make the game a little bit safer.
There's no way that you can make the game safer.
A little bit safer. I mean, it's violent. I watched with Rodney Harrison, who was a violent hitter.
Yeah, he was very violent.
And Rodney says, I don't know how I played the game. I don't know if you watch, and look, you played 15 years.
Yeah.
And say, how did I do it?
I remember last year was my first year out. And I went to a game, actually college game, and the Auburn, Alabama game last year, and to see the contact that went on, I was surprised. I was like, I used to do that?
It's loud. It's violent. And I tell people, if you watch from the sidelines, it changes your whole perspective of watching a football game. Because when we watch on TV, it's a whole different game down on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. Entire different game. Oh, man. But you love it. People ask me, if you had the opportunity to do it all over again, knowing the way that you feel, my back hurts. Even sitting in this chair, I would do it because there's nothing that gives me the rush. The reason why I fell in love with the game of football, because I felt as if that was the only time that I can go out and hit somebody and not get in trouble for it. That was the only time.
What is it like to make the perfect tackle?
When everything goes silent and you hear that little – you talk about being on the sideline. When you hit you hear it. You hear that little boom, and then everything comes back into your ears, and you hear the crowd says, woo. So imagine you walking in Rome into one of the big arenas. That's what you feel like. You feel like a gladiator after making the perfect tackle. And it's addicting. That's something that you want to be strung out on. Success on the football field.
Is there rehab for that addiction?
No, you don't want rehab. You don't want rehab.
Give me your perfect tackle. Who was it against? Like the one that you say.
Oh, I have a good one, Dan. Okay. Oh, I have a good one. It really wasn't even the perfect tackle. I have two. Back in 98, my rookie year, we was playing against Barry Sanders.
Ooh.
And, we talked about, man, you think you'll be able to get Barry on the first try? And so they ran a little sweep, and I was so afraid of Barry. He came around because the week before, he pulled some shenanigans out, went on one side and came back and ran 60-something yards on the other side. But I shot my gun, and I made a shoestring tackle on Barry. And it was like for a 6-yard gain. But I got up, and I was happy. I was crunk. I was like, yeah, I tackled Barry. And one of the guys was like, Spikes, he got the first down. I was like, I still tackled Barry, though. I still tackled him. I had another good tackle. We were playing against Jacksonville. I was in Buffalo. Byron Leftwich was the quarterback, and he threw it to one of his receivers, set him up right across the middle, and I hit him so hard his helmet popped off for at least 10 yards. Put him down. They had to call a timeout to come get him on the field. It was one of my best hits of all time. Yeah. See, I'm reliving it right now.
Oh, no, I
don't want rehab? Rehab. Oh, you can't get enough.
Would you want a piece of Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, I would. Because everybody is watching. I mean, people, you look at the big games. I heard John Lynch talking about he was going to call the game this weekend, Green Bay going against Buffalo. But when Mike Pettin decided to name Johnny Manziel the starter, Fox told him, hey, hold up. We need you to go back to Cleveland because this is going to be the big coverage. Yeah. And so as a player, there's only one thing or one other place to where when you want to play great. That place is New York City, close to here. And this is the only other time to where everybody is watching. So if I'm on the Cincinnati Bengals defense, I'm getting extra time. I'm getting extra sleep. Instead of me going to bed at midnight, I'm going to bed at 10. I'm doing everything, eating my Wheaties, taking my vitamins. because Johnny will be on the loose. And how can you make a name for yourself? Stop Johnny more than one time. That's how you do it.
You're always welcome in the man cave.
I appreciate the man cave.
Great to see you.
Anytime that I can roll the tide in the man cave, Paulie, I'll do it. I'll be back.
Takeo Spikes, working for NBCSN and former NFL linebacker. You were fun. Thank you, bud.
Enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.